outlets Turner BR Live, AT&T Direct TV, and AT&T Universe, as well as a number of other cable, satellite, and telco companies. Before we bring out our two competitors, let's take a look at our two great champions.
I guess, hello world, huh?
Tiger Woods is the youngest U.S. amateur champion ever.
Phil Mickelson, the 20-year-old amateur.
Winning the amateur was one of the greatest thrills of my life.
Tiger and Phil, they started winning and dominating when they were 10 years old.
I'm really not that famous yet. If I can get on tour and then do well, then I'll probably open some eyes.
Tiger has his slam. 50 career victories.
I was telling my caddy, I hope the gallery gets bigger.
Number 80.
I love competition. I might be playing against Phil Mickelson.
Another chapter in Mickelson's daring life of golf.
It's how much I hate to lose that drives me.
He's one hell of a competitor.
I find a way to score. I find a way to shoot a number.
Phil Mickelson, at the age of 47, has done it again.
The way we play our best golf is totally different.
When Phil's on, he is not afraid of Tiger Woods.
There's not a single shot that Phil sees that he feels like he can't pull off.
Tiger's game is the greatest of all time.
Winner of the Masters, the U.S. Open, Bay Hill Invitation, the U.S. Open, American Express.
All right.
Why don't we just go head to head?
I'm definitely not against that.
It's going to be fun.
Everyone, it's my pleasure to introduce two golfers that combined have 19 majors between the two of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods.
How you guys doing? I've heard about you guys a lot recently. Welcome, Tiger, Phil. I'm just curious. I'm going to start you guys off here. How did we get to this moment? Do either of you want to take the credit for this? How did we get to this spectacle?
It was, I guess, some conversations that took place right after I won Mexico. The very following week, he likes to show me up and everything he does, and he's out leading at Valspar, and the conversation kind of took from there. We were originally going to partner up. I know that we wanted to and would like to have a chance to partner up again in the Ryder Cup and show that we can play well together. And there was some talk of maybe doing that and then having a partnership with some younger guys. But when it was brought or talked about amongst David Levy and some of the television guys, they really wanted us to go head-to-head, which I always enjoy going head-to-head. I haven't had great success, but I always enjoy it. And this it's kind of took off from there.
The rivalry, I think, is what's so special. It's not just that you're both so accomplished and both so great. There's a history of it. Can you reflect on the rivalry and what it's meant to each of you over the years?
Well, we've gone at it for over 2 decades, and we've certainly had our moments where we've either been in regular tour events or major championships, World Golf Championships. We've gone toe-to-toe with each other, and I've always enjoyed knowing the fact that I was going against Phil over these years, and because I knew that he was going to be tough. He's going to pull off shots that no one's ever seen before, and I'd have to somehow figure out a way to, somehow get the job done. And I've always enjoyed it through the years. I know it's been a little bit, jaded towards my side, so hence I'm really liking it. But over the years, it's really been a lot of fun for me.
He was Tiger's 6 years younger than I am, and even though he doesn't look it, he would come along and always break every little record. So I might have had some junior records throughout Southern California. He'd come along and break those. I'd go to college. I'd have a nice record there. He'd come along and win those. I'd win a U.S. Amateur. He wins 3. And Shadow Creek, I shot the course record in 92 or 3, shot 61. He comes along a few years later, breaks it at 60. I mean, it's seems to be a theme. But Friday, you got to do it simultaneously. Now you can't come along later. It's my chance after losing so many majors to you and so many tournaments to get a little something back.
What we witnessed this season, especially the Tour Championship and that mob on hole 18, which was a sight. And I think we all felt that, and it was nostalgic, but it was also eye-opening at the same time. To factor this into it, but also what you just experienced, the story of your career, where do you feel like you are right now? Can you put that all into perspective for us?
Well, it was an amazing start to my career. The last couple of years have been very difficult. Most people already know that, what I've gone through and struggling physically, but to finally piece it together and give myself a chance to win at the Tour Championship, and to feel that I held off, two of the best players in the world, and to be able to do that when I hadn't done it for 5+ years, and to do it like that, and to do it on basically in my last stroke play event of the season. Boy, it just meant a lot. This whole year has been trending towards that. Phil was alluding to earlier that he had won in Mexico, and then at Tampa, all of a sudden, here I am with a chance to win. I finished second, but if I look back on it now and in hindsight and reflecting on it, I just think that it would have been probably too soon to win. But now to have put it together and have won the Tour Championship, it just ended the season perfectly.
Phil, I think the thing that excited me the most about the 24/7 is you're an uber competitor, and every time I see you be interviewed, you talk about you hate losing. And I could see how intense you're taking this. I know that they prepared Shadow Creek for you, and you played around. Do you feel like you have a leg up? Do you feel like you might know this course better than Tiger in a way?
I think that this has been a very good thing for me, this match, because the last month when I would a lot of times shut things down, I've been grinding, I've been working out every day, I've been working on my game every day, and this has been a great thing from the off season for me going into next year. But to keep my game sharp and to have a unique opportunity to do something that I've had a hard time doing in my career, which is get a leg up on Tiger in anything, even if it's a one-day event like this, to have the opportunity to go head-to-head and to win is just, it's great to win the $9 million. I just don't want to lose to him and give him the satisfaction, because the bragging rights are what be even worse than the money. It's every time I see you, I want to be able to rub it in. I don't want it to be rubbed in. I'm sitting in the champions locker room at Augusta and talk smack. I want that.
As opposed to?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was wondering what the rent was. Tiger says he's been living in your head for 2 decades. I wasn't sure if that was affordable or...
Yeah, there's a lot of empty space up there. But there's been moments, though. I mean, there's been moments like, and Grant, I'm going to be stretching here, but like the 2012 AT&T, where I ended up shooting 60-40 or 75. There have been some moments. I like to dwell on those. I know you're going to bring up big picture. I get that. I know you're going to bring up Masters and things like that. I get that. And I have to pick my spots. I've got to be careful.
Yeah, I hear you. U.S. Opens.
Yeah, those two. So have fun,
yes.
but Friday is a chance to have some fun.
We've heard about Phil's preparation. Tiger, I'm curious, what has your preparation been the last month for this event?
Yeah, after Ryder Cup, I shut it down for about 3-4 weeks and started to, basically work on my body and trying to get it stronger again. And I've got to that point, started back practicing, started back playing, started to grind and started getting into golf again. And really looking forward to, I was really looking forward to the break, but I'm really looking forward back to playing again. I missed competing and be able to go against Phil like this. Boy, I guess my juice is flowing for sure.
When we all watch golf on television, we live for those moments where the mic picks up something, whether it's to the caddy and we hear a murmur and we write it on the screen. It's on Bleacher Report and House of Highlights and all that. Now that you're both going to be mic'd up and the caddies are going to be mic'd up, what are we going to hear? What are we going to gain from this experience?
Well, I think it's for me, it's the player interaction, but also it's more of the caddy player interaction that the fans normally aren't privy to. I mean, there's a lot of things that we, like Joey and I talk about, going from green to, from tee box to the fairway, where the flag is, what am I thinking about as far as leaving it. You know, we start roaming through situations like that, and we do that all the time. That's something that I think that the fans are going to enjoy. And the little side things that, you know, for me, the people who've played against me and have gotten to know me and play a lot of rounds with me, the little snide comments I usually make, and usually out of my breath, where
I know those.
Over the ball, or just an earshot, so that only the player would know. I think those are the things that they're going to enjoy.
With you being Mike's, yours is very quiet, kind of under your breath, understated little jabs, and the fact that you're going to be mic'd, you won't miss those as a viewer. And I think the cutaways where normal telecast cuts away to commercials, I think that's really the advantage that we have. By getting rid of commercials and putting on pay-per-view, the fans get to see and experience something they never get to see or experience, which is those conversations you're talking about with your player in the caddy, with each player walking down the fairway, some of the challenges that we might have on the course. It's like a Tuesday practice round for a significant stake that makes us uncomfortable, but with the same type of banter that we are used to, that most fans aren't privy to. I think that I think most people back home, I think the FOMO is real. I think the fear of missing out is real, because they're going to be missing out on a lot that they are missing in a regular telecast. This is the only chance, and it's a unique chance to experience it.
The side actions are the other aspect that I think I'm very excited about, because when I think of Phil Mickelson, I can only imagine playing around with you. And what you're going to lay down, the action is just going to throw me off my game. How strategic have you been in plotting what you're going to do with Tiger? And I'm curious, Tiger, are you having these side actions ready to go for this event?
Well, for me, I have a couple in which I know that I'll probably place, you know, in spots, but I think it's also the ebb and flow and how the match goes. If Phil's in a situation in which I feel like he needs to feel a little bit more heat, or I don't think I can make him a little bit uncomfortable, or make him think about what I just said, yeah, I'll drop one on him. And I think that's going to be the fun part, is trying to figure out where I can gain an advantage, either through strategy or just timing.
So I've thought a lot about this, and there are spots out on the course that are some great spots for a little challenge, and the challenges are coming directly out of our pockets, okay? And I feel like the first hole is a great hole for me. And I believe, in fact, I'm willing to risk $100,000 that says I birdie the first hole. So that's how good I feel heading into this match. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it at all. But I'm going to throw that out there.
Hold on. So you think you can make birdie on the first hole?
I know I'm going to make birdie on the first hole.
Double it.
Did you see how I baited him like that? Yes. Yes. 200 says I birdie the first hole.
All right, just water down the left. He likes to lose his golf ball to the left. It's a little flare out that he hits.
See, here's what you're missing.
See, these are
I'm going to hit a 2-iron.
He hasn't really thought
in
about.
The fairway, and I'm a great short iron player. In fact, one of the best. In fact, number one on the tour stats.
Hot, like he sometimes does. It's a little right, and it's hot. It'll be up against that tree, and he's blocked out. And so he can't spin the ball coming into that flag. Yeah.
And that's how I was able to bait you. Yeah, first hole.
So that's official.
I birdie.
Done.
200,000 first hole birdie.
So part of it is strategic, though, because you've got to get them to accept it. So you see how I subtly slid that in? Yeah, I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I think I found the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's at the perfect time to turn the questions over to you guys. I'm going to turn it over. John Bush of the PGA, he's going to facilitate media Q&A. There will be microphones going around. 200, y'all are crazy, and I appreciate it. That's really
yeah.
Double it, huh? Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Done.
Strong.
Yeah,
strong play.
absolutely.
All right, thank you, Adam. We'll get microphones to the media. If you'll raise your hand, give us your name and your affiliate, please. Yep, we'll start right here. Second row, Jeff.
Jeff Lesson with Entercom. I'd like both your comments on the odds established by the local sports books for this. Tiger basically a 2-to-1 favorite. And how
As
do
it
you both
should
feel
be.
about that?
Sorry. What are you saying?
How you both feel about the odds, and how accurate they may be?
I think they're about right.
So strategically, what happens here in Vegas, is I don't need to tell you, is the smart money tries to fudge the line, and then they load up. So now that it's right where they want it, the line will come significantly down.
All right, third row, and then Brian behind you.
Brian Shapiro from the Vegas Take. A question for both Phil and Tiger. Can you assure everybody that's going to be watching on Friday that the loser of this match will not receive $1 of the $9 million, and this money is not going to be shared upon the two of you in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, that's how it's originally scripted, and that's how we've done the deal.
All right, Brian.
Brian Hurlburt, Las Vegas Review-Journal.
If I win, though, I might give him a few grand just to, so you know, because he's earned it. But that's just me. I'm like that. But that's just me. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm good now, Phil. Thanks. Brian Hurlburt, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Your relationship has evolved substantially over the years. As you sit there now today, what is one thing that both of you admire about each other most, and the one thing that really annoys you most about each other?
Well, the one for me, the thing I've always admired about Phil is just the way he's able to compete and pull off shots that nobody would be willing to take without, hesitation. The shot that he played at, we all know the shot they played at 13 at Augusta from the pine straw. I've seen so many of those shots in person. I've been there with him when he's tried to pull them off, and he's pulled them off. He does things like that, and over the years, what's annoyed me most is losing to him.
All right, second row, and then we'll go to Chris.
Matt Rybeltowski with Forbes. Phil, you mentioned talking trash to Tiger back in the day. What do you remember about that practice round from '98 where you reportedly won a few $100 off of Tiger and then left a photocopy of the $100 bill in his locker?
It's the only time in the last 20 years that I seem to have won in those matches. It's been very rare, so I've had to capitalize and take advantage of those moments. But it's been an incredible opportunity for me to play my career against him, but it's also been incredibly difficult. I oftentimes wonder what my career would be had he not come along, and I think it could go either way. He's brought out the best of me at times, and it's also been very intimidating and difficult to compete against his level of play. That practice round was 3 or 4 holes. It wasn't a full round. I got lucky, and I'm not the best guy to lose to. I tend to kind of rub it in and so forth. So, Friday, if and when I win, I will continue to rub it in a lot worse than I did in '98. A lot worse.
All right, let's go.
And I'll take it if I don't. If I lose, I'll take it. I know.
You do.
I know.
Trust me.
I know. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris in the
Chris
middle.
Matthews, KLAS TV here in Las Vegas. For both Tiger and Phil, there's been so many great spectacles in Las Vegas over the years where you go back to even Evel Knievel jumping the fountains or Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor McGregor, just these unusual, unique kind of sports spectacles. Where would this one maybe rank in your guys' minds? And how was Shadow Creek picked to host this deal? For both of you, please.
I don't know how we would compare to those. This is certainly in golf you tend to play this typical stroke play, 150 guys, you play the course, but this is totally different. This has the element of match play of head to head. So there's this a bigger amount of pressure or intensity between the two because it's a direct conflict. Whereas on a stroke play event, you go out and randomly play the course and try not to play against your opponent so much. This is the exact opposite. This is me versus him. This is winner take all, and it's got a very unique, special feel that golf doesn't have all the time. Very rarely has ever had, if ever. And so I don't know how it compares to those other sports, but in golf, it's unique and different.
Agreed. This is very different than anything golf has ever done in the past. I think that's one of the unique things about it is that we're able to showcase our sport in such a different light, and all the different technologies that we're going to be bringing to this event, and doing it differently than any other golfing event that's ever been done. That's the exciting thing for not only myself and Phil, but I think that from all the viewers that are going to watch.
Okay, right here on the aisle. And then
Phil,
Dennis.
is Jim Daniels, NBC Sports Radio Network. This is already, we know, a unique event and a unique venue. You guys are already having some fun. Is there a chance that this could become an annual thing and possibly other points around the world, other great golf courses around the world for this weekend?
I'm hopeful that it's received well. I'm hopeful that we provide a glimpse into the future of what sports watching is all about. I'm hoping that with our partnership with TNT and Bleacher Report, that we're having and MGM having on-screen live odds with the potential for the viewer to be able to wager, with the opportunity to hear banter and being mic'd. We're hopeful that this provides an insight into the sport that is a glimpse into the future where people want more. And if that happens, great. Then we very well could have some more. If people don't like it or want it, then it's probably a one and done. But I think it's a unique, special opportunity to see sides of athletes and sports performance you've been craving as a viewer and haven't had a chance to see. So I think it's going to be well received.
All right, let's go to Dennis.
Thank you. Dennis Silver, CBS Sports Radio. This is for both of you. Hypothetically, after Friday is all said and done and you guys both decided to throw in the towel and never play competitively again, Tiger, what would you say would be Phil's legacy to the game? And Phil, what would you say would be Tiger's legacy for the game?
Mine is easy, greatest of all time. That's an easy one for me. I've seen him do things with a golf ball that's never been done. The performance in the 2000 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach is the single greatest performance in the history of the game of golf and possibly all of sports. And he continued to play at that level for a number of years. And the greatest of all time is an easy slogan for me with Tiger.
You know, for me, he's one of the greatest players to ever pick up a golf club. To go against him for all these years and see what he's done it for so long. He's been at the elite level for such a long period of time. There's no fall-offs, you know, with Phil's game. And the fact that he's able to win so many golf tournaments for over 2 decades is a testament to, you know, how good he really is. Because we all know when we play sports, there's going to come a point in time. I'm a unfortunate living example of this, is that you're going to have injuries. You're going to have moments where you just can't play. You just can't tee it up. For me, you can't tee it up. You can't compete. Well, Phil hasn't done that. You know, he's been consistent. He's been at the elite level for, you know, over 2 decades, and that doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen very often. But for me, I've been bear witness to all of this, and it's just amazing and how good and how consistent he's been for such a long period of time.
Can we just take a moment and appreciate what a nice thing you just said about me? I don't ever remember you saying such a nice thing. Thank you.
Well, you said that was the last round of golf we ever played. So
oh, man. I'm just going to enjoy that moment. Does anybody get that on film? I'd like that sent to me, if that's all right.
All right,
thank you.
Let's go here, third row, and then over to Jeff and Paul.
Dan Byer, Fox Sports Radio. Kind of on the heels of that, Phil, you talked about on the HBO special about how it took you a little while to get accustomed to Tiger when he exploded on the scene 20-plus years ago. But then we're able to realize what he meant for you and other golfers. What do you think you meant during your career to other golfers? And Tiger, kind of on the heels of that, but what do you think Phil's game meant to others throughout the golf world?
I don't know. That's hard for me to answer as far as what I've done, but I just know that in 1997, when Tiger came along, won the Masters, he turned pro in 96, and the game took on a whole different meteoric rise. And the purses started to climb, and the TV ratings started to climb, and golf was on the front page of the USA Today. And it was a whole different revelation for the sport on what he's done. And I never imagined when I first started playing that golf would get to this level of relevancy in the world of sports and be so well known and have the athletes be so well known. And I still, as I look back, can't believe what's happened with him coming along. And it was noticeable when he was away for a few years and he comes back and plays so well this year at the British Open, the PGA Championship, and finally win the Tour Championship. You saw the reaction. And he brings out an emotion in people that this sport craves, and we're very appreciative of that.
All right. Yep, over. Paul.
Paul Lyhander with CBS Sports Radio, radio.com. For both of you, Phil, knowing your Arizona State days, you mentioned during the HBO special that while you don't dance very much, you may bust out a certain dance move if you do emerge victorious over Tiger. And then that's the first question for you. For Tiger, for you, how willing are you to accept that, or have you been practicing any sort of special celebration?
Have you not seen what I'm going through? I'm not dancing. There's no chance. That's not happening.
It's intimidating with a guy of my moves.
But I would
for
love
him
to
dance
see
in
him
front
do
of me. I understand that.
Anything.
Yeah. The possibility of me doing the worm it's possible. It's improbable, but possible.
Wow.
All right, Jeff.
I really need to play well.
Jeff Lesson. Jeff Lesson with Entercom. For both of you, this is obviously a competition between the two of you, but it's also a business venture made possible perhaps by your developing relationship over the years. Do you see any future business endeavors between the two of you? Any partnerships in the future you could maybe let us in on? Maybe owning a professional sports team down the road or something like that?
We haven't gotten that far yet. I mean, we're having fun. It's fun and games right now, but on Friday it's going to be pretty intense. And Friday we'll have banter, but the intensity is going to be up a notch. It'll be major championship intensity, and we haven't quite gotten to the further endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, as Phil was just alluding to, we are focusing on what we're doing here for the match. But so, I mean, who knows what the future holds? And if you would have asked us, 10 years ago, what would be in this position, I think we both would have given a different answer than we are sitting here right in front of you. And so, who knows what the future holds for us? With our two different acumens for business and what we like and don't like, what we want to go into in the future, you never know.
All right, let's go third row and then to the aisle.
Brian Shapiro, the Vegas Take. I know it's match play, but I guess a two-part question for both of you. What number do you think you're going to have to put up to win this thing, and how many birdies do you think you guys will have to make out there in order to win this match?
Well, I think there's going to be a significant amount of birdies. The way the golf course is going to be set up, we're not playing all the tees all the way back. There are a few up tees, and I think the pins will be in not brutal spots. They'll be on a more accessible side. So, yes, there's going to have to be birdies made in order to win holes and to be able to win the match. How many under? I don't know what that's going to be because a lot of it is so dependent on. You can get the golf course set up a certain way, but if you just get a little bit of breeze through here, it changes things dramatically. So, under normal conditions, with like it is today, right now, looking at probably 6, 7, 8, 9 under par, winning the match. But as soon as the wind picks up, that all changes, and we'll see what happens.
All right, left side.
Yeah. Matt Perrault from SB Nation Radio. For both of you guys, we know golf courses around the country, around the world, you guys have played in, but this venue being very special here in Vegas. But for people who outside of Las Vegas who don't know Shadow Creek, can you just kind of describe what this golf course is like and what the viewers are going to see coming up on Friday?
I think it's one of the most unique places in all of golf, right?
It is.
I mean, to go from a flat piece of property in a flat desert to creating something that you would find in the Carolinas, out in the mountains, I think it's just phenomenal. To be able to create something so utopian like this is, one is a testament to the ownership and what their vision was, for this property, and what they've done is just incredible.
Utopian, huh? That's that Stanford education there. I went to Arizona State, so I'm going to simplify it. I think it's beautiful. What he's done on this property is spectacular, and this course is always rated one of the highest in the world. It's a perfect spot for us. We were able to bring this event to Las Vegas and play it on a world-class golf course, and the score will be relevant to conditions and how the wind is and the temperature and some of those things, but I think we both have it in mind that this is a sprint, not a marathon. We're not playing 4 days. We're playing one. We've got to come out and fire. There's a lot of risk-reward here, a lot of water, a lot of trouble, but there's also a lot of birdie opportunities. So I think the person that wins is going to probably shoot 7 or 8 under par, but it could very well be a lot less based on the conditions.
All right, right here, third row, and then Brian in the back.
Dan Byer again from Fox Sports Radio. Did you guys have any input on course setup, and was there any thought to having it called the match Phil versus Tiger?
That was my first loss. And I'm trying to get it back even 1-1 on Friday. That was my
That's
first
good
loss.
One. Very good.
We haven't really had much input per se on the setup. We wanted it to be, fair for both sides. So whatever the tour came up with is great. We are knowledgeable on where the pins are going to be, so that we're practicing and working, we're not wasting our time on the entire golf course. There's only one round, so we have a general idea of where the pins are going to be and where the tees are going to be, so that when we practice, we're not wasting our time.
All right, Brian.
Brian Hurlburt, Las Vegas Review-Journal, for both of you, if you could. You've attained a high level of excellence during your career and maintained it. How do you define the word excellence, and how did you stay motivated to keep there and Tiger get back to it?
I think he's referring to you because he said excellent. So,
well, for me, I think that excellence is winning, and I have done it since, 96, and Phil's done it, since 94? Oh, no, 92.
Yeah,
91. 91 in Tucson.
91.
91.
Yeah.
I mean, so to me, that's excellence right there. Go from 91 to 2018 and to be able to have won, that's excellence. That's doing it at a high level for a long period of time.
All right, back left.
I was just going to add on Tiger's deal, too, on his excellence. He's always played not to the competition, but to his own excellence. And that's why he's won so many tournaments by multiple shots, whether it was the Open by 15 or other events by 7 or 8. The only, I played the only tournament that compared for me was the Bell South, and it wasn't a major, where I won by 13. And those type of moments, so you've done throughout your entire career, where you don't worry about, it's winning, but you're not playing against the other players. You're playing to your own level of excellence, and you have throughout your career. So I just felt like after the nice things he said about me, I wanted to add on that.
The question was meant for you because you've had excellence as well. So
Thank you. Thank you. I think just playing to your own personal best and bringing out the best in yourself. And I think that's why I'm appreciative of playing in the Tiger Woods era, is that he helped push me to become my best. I started working out with a trainer to elongate my career. I just started working a little bit differently, more efficiently. I think he's brought out the best in me because of my hatred to lose and my more than even wanting to win. He forced me to work harder. And so playing to, again, my own personal level of excellence throughout my career.
All right, back left.
Tiger, Phil, Tom Donahue with the Polaris Images. Wouldn't this match be a lot more fun if the $9 million was coming out of your pockets?
Well, we're going to have multiple side challenges that are going to be in the 6 to 7 figures that will be coming out of our own pockets. So some of that is very much true, but this event needs to be for a number that makes us nervous and makes us uncomfortable, and it definitely is. And because of that, I think both the $9 million that we're playing for, along with the hundreds of thousands and ultimately $1 million or $2 million that we're playing for in side challenges throughout the match, I think that it's enough for us both to be uncomfortable and to feel the pressure.
Would you still do it if it was coming out of your pocket?
Well, there's 200 right there in the first hole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he caught the first part of that.
Yeah. All right, let's go Dennis and then Matt.
Thank you. Dennis again, CBS Sports Radio. Speaking of the $9 million, I've had a lot of listeners call in, and they are of the opinion that this thing is more about the money than the game, more about the money than growing the game. What do you say to that?
Well, this event is designed to be a unique experience for a golf viewer and to have an insight into what goes on with the players, to create a production from drone coverage to on-screen gambling to live mics and interaction. And it's an insight into the game that you're not normally able to see, which is why we've chosen each decision. It's why it's on pay-per-view, because we had to eliminate the commercials to have that insight in between the shots. It's why we wanted to we had to create the pressure and the tension of a huge event, and we don't have the history of the Masters or major championships, which is why the number had to be so high, because that creates an uncomfortable environment for us, that creates pressure. And so when you put all those things together, and we've created an experience for the viewer at home that will be totally unique and different. And hopefully your viewers will start to understand and appreciate that, and appreciate what we're trying to do for them. But look, it's not for everybody, and if you feel like you're missing out, you probably are, because it's going to be something different that you haven't had before.
All right, we've got time for one more question over on the left.
Matt Pearl from SB Nation Radio again. Phil, this is for you. I host a show called Pushing the Odds, which talks a lot about sports gambling, and you're clearly aware of what's going to be happening on the screen. So I'm curious, from your standpoint, golf and gambling has gone hand in hand for many, many years before we saw the explosion of sports gambling here over the last 2 years. What's your opinion of the growth of sports gambling, with golf being a major focal point of it?
So we won't be aware of what's on the screen and what the live odds are and so forth. We're just going to be doing our challenges amongst each other. But I think that the ability to have fantasy golf and to have live real-time wagering will only benefit the interest in the game of golf, much like it has in football and the other major sports. And so this is a real plus, I think, for golf to capture a lot of viewerships and a lot of interest that we haven't been able to capture before.
All right, thanks, guys. Adam?
I am having people in the audience right now ask if, like the great boxing matches, if you guys would face off. This can be declined. I'm just saying, $200,000 in the first hole.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Friday, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon local. These two are going toe to toe.
Keep it straight. Let me try to
Keep it straight. Keep it straight.
Right.
The match, 11 o'clock local, 2 o'clock Eastern, the pregame show, noon local, 3 o'clock Eastern, they tee off. It's going down. And again, you can watch this on BR Live and anywhere that you can purchase pay-per-view. Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. Thank you, guys.
Tiger against Phil, mano a mano, head to head, one day, one match. Anything can happen.
From Windermere, Florida, Tiger Woods. Phil Mickelson.
If you've never watched Tiger or Phil Mickelson over the last 20 years, maybe you should tune in.
What a shot this is. I don't believe it. How about that? I've never seen him do that.
It's going to be way different than any type of golf you've ever watched.
I sure know that I'm going to watch it and be excited to see who comes out on top.
If I didn't have a family and could get there easily, I'd buy a ticket and go watch.
As a golf fan, I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
They're going to show the fans a good time, and I can't wait to see it.
It's definitely going to be one for the ages.
I think it's a great spot to do it out there at Shadow Creek in Vegas.
Las Vegas, Sin City, the gambling capital of the world.
You got to have stakes that high for two guys like that.
Between those two, it's a race for bragging rights.
It's classic of Tiger and Phil to kind of elevate the game again from what they've done in the past.
Nobody has had more influence on the game of golf in the last quarter century than Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson.
Both have won so many tournaments.
Another victory for Tiger. Phil Mickelson has done it again.
It's crazy to think about when you look at the numbers.
The two most popular players in the game today.
Tiger, his dedication to being the greatest and how he lets nothing get in his way.
His nickname's Tiger for a reason. Look at his highlight reel, he just destroyed fields.
He had that real killer instinct, and you could tell he meant business.
I mean, he took care of business.
Phil a thrill. He's always done something crazy, good or bad, whatever the result, he went for it.
He connects with the fans.
You know, he's giving his thumbs up to everybody.
He's very professional. He makes our sport look good.
You know, if you asked me, I would have said, of all the guys who could go head-to-head, it'd be Tiger Phil. It's going to be a different feel to it than a regular tour event, which is going to be cool. You're going to be able to see the personalities, I think, a little bit more.
Phil's going to talk a lot of trash, like a whole lot.
Phil's going to be talking a lot of trash, I'm sure.
Tiger needs to stay in his lane. If he starts talking back as much as Phil, I think it'll get in his way of all his focus.
Are you comfortable kind of picking one of the two?
I'm not going to pick one or the other.
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know.
Whoever plays well that day is going to win. So it's going to be fun to watch, and I'm definitely a fan, so I'll be watching.
I'm putting my money on the underdog today. I like Phil Mickelson in this one.
I don't know, I'm going to pick Tiger every day over 72 holes, but I'm going to pick Phil over 18, especially when there's mics involved and a bit of trash talking, and you know, I think that's kind of Phil's game right there.
Tiger needs to stay in his routine and do what he's always done and just let Phil say whatever he wants to say, and I think Tiger will be all right. But if he, you know, talks back, I think Phil will get him.
I'm going to go with Tiger. Don't tell Phil.